Hello, and welcome to A Word of Hope for Friday of the 27th week in Ordinary Time. My friends, we have a very, very challenging first reading from the prophet Joel. I would like to share just a few snippets with you of today's readings. Gird yourselves and weep, O priests. Wail, O ministers of the altar. Come spend the night in sackcloth, O ministers of my God. Let all who dwell in the land tremble, for the day of the Lord is coming. Sort of threatening to hear the words from the prophet Joel, but he's speaking to the Israelites after their Babylonian captivity, and he's challenging them for all of the ways they've turned their backs on their God, and they haven't lived up to their part of the covenant relationship. They haven't been faithful to what they professed. They have not been true to their faith or to their religion. And Joel is really letting them have it right between the eyes. It's an important reading for us to hear this week, especially when we have heard the terrible, terrible news from France of the abuse of hundreds of thousands of children at the hands of the Catholic Church. You've heard it on the radio, I'm sure. And Joel would say the very same thing to the church today. Gird yourselves and weep, O priests. We need to hear that in every age, I'm afraid. Sorrowfully so. We need to hear that in every age. Gird yourselves and weep, O priests. The day of the Lord is coming. Even Pope Francis this week, who tries so hard in his wonderful leadership to be realistic and sincere and humble, he said, I wish to express to the victims my sadness and sorrow for the trauma they have suffered, and also my shame, our shame, my shame for the Church's too long inability to put victims at the center of its concerns. My friends, let us pray for that today. Let us do everything in our power. You and I are not empowered to change the institution, but we certainly can pray for the institution more. And we can certainly make sure in our lives that we show sensitivity to the victims of any kind of clerical abuse. Let us pray for these victims with all our hearts. And let us make sure that we give the victims more than our words. The church needs to step up, listen to the prophet Joel, listen to Pope Francis, and reform itself. Let us pray for that reform today. God bless you.